What is up, Danny? We're back with another episode of new updates and patches and fixes and improvements. And there's been a lot since we last talked yesterday. So first off, a lot of you seem to be enjoying this little thing that I'm doing. So continue to put in your requests. I'll keep track of them and I'll ship them out. We have a lot of ground to cover this episode. We have about 3 to 4 pages of changes and improvements. So if your fix is in there, be sure to note that down. So yesterday, literally right after I uploaded my video, they came out with patch 1.04. This is currently only available on Steam and the Epic Games Store. And just to throw this out there, you're going to be seeing this occur very often. A lot of the updates are going to come out for PC first, and then Sony and Microsoft afterwards. It's a lot easier to go ahead and push updates on the PC. When it comes to the consoles, they need to have approval from both Xbox and PlayStation before pushing it out. So the patch notes, what has changed? And if you're on PC, like I said, you have these changes already. Fix various game crashing bugs, fixed AI dead body replication in co-op, added DLSS improvements, fixed artifacts being sometimes visible on some AMD cards. And this one right here is by far my favorite improvement and fix that they have. Aside from, you know, your game crashing and burning and being unplayable, Danny. I know that's an important one too, but this one right here, fix mouse key binding options, meaning you should be allowed to rebind your mouse buttons. We are still working on additional implementation for extra mouse buttons. I'll throw it up on screen right now, but look, you can actually go ahead and make certain key bindings tied to your mouse now. When this game launched, this very basic feature was just not in there. They had some workarounds for this issue, but to be honest, it wasn't really convenient and promoted as much as it should have been. But moving on from that hotfix, we're going to move on to the bigger things that will be coming at one point during this week. PC players will get it first, while Xbox and PlayStation will get it by the end of the week, the latest, according to Techland. So Dying Light went ahead and they released 3 screenshots on their social media pages. Starting out with PC fixes and improvements, the ones that say ready for implementation, we actually just went over, so we're not going to talk about those. And then if we go to we are working on, they talk about issues with mouse key binding and additional gaming mice support for custom buttons. Next, it goes into detail about a lot of the issues halting story progression. So now we have blocks resulting in players ending in a death loop, various story blocks. They're looking to enable the English voiceover if local language is not English, and on top of that, they're adding backup saves, exposing additional video settings, and also fixing some visual bugs that are present in the hospital in the Markers of Plague quest. So now we're going to dive into the massive PlayStation fixes. As you can tell from this screenshot, the we are working on section is exactly the same as the PC, aside from the additional video settings, which does include working on the motion blur. But when we go for ready for implementation, we have fixes for issues with connection stability, various situations when players could be disconnected in co-op, game crashing bugs, issues with players that couldn't sell valuables to vendors, issue with music streamer mode causing one song not to be muted. And that one, I was a victim of that one, Danny. That has copyright claimed so many of my videos. It's wonderful. Issues with the AI being immortal in some rare situations while playing co-op. Ain't that fucking Danny? Various issues with stealth gameplay in co-op. Various issues when AI could be blocked in geometry. AI visual adjustments, and balance improvements. They also fixed the issues in co-op mode where players are unable to see dialogue choices, and they also tuned the optimization for the better. And to go and sum it up, they also fixed up the fast travel limitation, as well as issues that were occurring with flickering and black screen. A lot of the stuff that was in the PlayStation version will also transfer over to the Xbox version. As you can see here, we have a very similar list here. The only one that is different here is the enabling of 60+ FPS VRR mode on Xbox Series X. Everything else on there, all those fixes and improvements were stated in the PC and PlayStation section beforehand. In addition to all of this, they are heavily prioritizing co-op and also connection issues. I know a lot of people were asking me about Series S in the previous video. We do have the big man himself, Timon, going on Twitter and talking about 30 FPS on Series S will be looked at, but the console's GPU is holding them back. And yeah, that wraps up everything in that update video. Was there anything in there that fixed your issue? Is your issue still ongoing? Like I said, continue to tell me. I'll gather them all up and make sure to prioritize them. But that wraps up today's video. Thank you so much, Snoring Warthog, Decent, and Swift for being my true Patreons and Ultimate Champions. With all that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.